Okay, so now we have to drill and tap this hole here. So this is a quartering hour drawing, is the 1032 2B. It goes through one wall. We already did the countersink for it. So provided that was modeled the right size and the tools are set right, that should be plenty. But we want to make sure we don't go too deep with this and gouge the other side of the bore here. So we'll go to drilling, and we're going to select from our library the tool 11, which is our tap drill for a 1032 screw. We're going to go to geometry. We're going to select the countersink and the hole. And on the heights tab, again, we're going to go from model top. We're going to go from hole top to hole bottom. We want to break through with the tip. And then we want to make sure that we go through enough that this is a blind hole. We want to go through enough that it's going to clear this cross hole here. So we're going to do an additional 0.1. And it's always good to take a look at it from the side, make sure it's not going gouging into the backside. Okay, we're going to go to the cycle tab. We're going to do deep drilling again. Let's accept the default settings. Hit OK. Our next step is to tap this hole. So we're going to go back to drilling. We're going to select our 1032 tap. Okay, we're going to go to geometry and we're going to select our same two holes. Now, this cross hole has not been drilled yet, so we don't want to hit bottom on it. So it's important that on the next tab, since this is a tap going into a blind hole, we want to go from model top and we want to go to hole bottom, and we're going to go a little bit less. We're going to go 50 thousandths deeper than the hole and make sure that's at negative. So we shouldn't hit bottom of the drilled hole. Okay, we're going to go to the next cycle. Tapping stays at default and we hit OK. Alright, now all we have is chamfers. So we're going to go to 2D and we're going to use chamfer. We're going to select from our library our 1/4 inch blunt chamfer mill. We're going to keep the first tab at default. We're going to select the outside rim and interior rim. We're going to go to passes tab. We're going to go to model top on both of these. And then our next tab, our chamfer width on the drawing is 10 thousandths. We're going to do a chamfer offset of 40, which is fine. We're going to leave the chamfer clearance alone. Go to the next tab. Leave all this at default. We'll hit OK. Okay, now we're going to set up for the second operation. So I'm going to, for now, minimize the toolpath in operation 1. And I'm going to hide the vise for this operation and show the operation 2 vise. So we flip the vise around. If we did all our work properly in the beginning, we should be able to see the part in Op2's configuration. And then we're going to turn the stock back on just for the first operation, and then after that the first routine, and after that we will be able to continue without the stock at all. The part itself becomes the stock. Okay, so now we're going to create a new setup. Okay, on this one we're going to go to the stock tab and we're going to use from previous. That's fine. On setup though, we're going to go instead of a model box, stock box point, z-axis and x-axis. We're going to set our z-axis plane as the top of the stock, and our x-axis is parallel to the long edge of the material. And then instead of a stock box point, we're going to use a model box point. And it looks like we've lost, this new setup isn't determining what the model is, so we're going to hit select on the model and we need to pick the part itself. And now when we go to the box points, we should be able to select this bottom left corner, which is the top of the parallel, and that is our box point location. Okay, so the stock should be from previous. It really only has stock from the top corner down to where the part starts, but that's okay. There are some people that use simulation to bring in stock size from a previous operation. That's great. If you know how to do that, you can use the meshes. For a simple part like this, I don't bother with that. Okay, so our program number is 7312, and it's operation 2, so 73122. Program comment op2. We're going to stick with G54, so it's work offset 1. Hit OK. So our origin should show up there in the bottom. Op2. Okay, on the second side, we're more or less going to recycle program we did on op1. So we're going to expand op1. We're going to highlight the face, and we're going to right click on that, and we're going to copy it and then highlight operation 2. Right click. We're going to paste, and that'll bring our face mill over. Then we're going to go to the chamfer command, and we're going to copy that routine. And go down to op2 and paste that one as well. Now we go back to op2, and we're going to right click on face 1. We're going to edit that, and we should be able to just go to geometry, and it should reselect the opposite side of the part. And then on our heights tab, we do want to base it off stock top, and we're going to mill from the stock top to the model top on the opposite side. We're going to go to passes tab, and we're going to select the multiple depths tab. Our maximum step down, we're going to bump that up to 60 thou. And we're going to machine that from both sides, and we're going to use even step downs. We'll go to the last tab, and everything else can be a default. Hit OK. And then we get our several passes going back and forth, milling the part down to thickness. Now we're going to go to our chamfer command. We're going to edit that. We're going to go to geometry. We're going to clear out the previous selections, and we're going to select the outside rim and the inside rim and hit OK. Now we've reapplied the chamfer command on the opposite side. In reality, this has been machined around the outside. I did not import a mesh that represents the stock, so no worries, it will still machine okay. And then we are now done with that routine. Go in Suit. We are going to hide this instance of the vise, bring up the operation 3 vise setup, which should have the part as shown. Okay, we're going to have 3 operations in here. We're going to do the countersink, and then we're going to drill this hole, which is the reamer that's going to bring this to its finished size. Now, if we look at our drawing, it's a 251 to 252 tool hole. We're going to use a 251 reamer to open that up. We're going to use that on a later project, so we're going to show you how to set that up. We're gonna drill it. We're gonna ream it to 251. Typically, reamers run a little bit oversized when they're brand new, and if it spins out a true a little bit, it might cut a little bit big. So we're going to use a 251, and then we need to inspect this hole to make sure it hits our tolerance. So a 251 pin should slide in there smoothly, and a 253 should not. So if you haven't done that, you need to use gauge pins. Okay, so let's power on. We're going to do the first two routines with tools we already have. So let's go to setups, and we're going to do a new setup. Okay, and in this case, we are going to go to stock, and we're not going to use from previous because that material's all gone. We are going to go from solid though, and instead of selecting the stock, we're going to actually select our model. That is the stock. Okay, and it should give us the rough sizes of it. Now we're going to go back to setup, and we're going to select the body for the model is also the model. Our origin. Now, there's a bunch of ways you can do this. We could set it at the top, have it this top corner. We'd have it at the top of the parallel. It can be more accurate when you're doing multiple parts to base it off the fixture. I'm going to go ahead and be consistent that way. You might have other instructors that want you to set the origin at the top. But again, when you set up this on the machine, if you can cut this in the same day, you won't have to move your X and Y coordinates. You're just going to have to compensate for the fact this parallel is shorter than the others. And so the last two operations on this part are using the same parallel heights. The first two operations are using the same parallel heights. So you do need to change those out and make sure you have the right equipment in the machine when you run it. Okay, so we're going to do Z-axis and X-axis for orientation. Pick on the top of the part, set Z in orientation to the part. We're going to select something that's horizontal and X to set our X-axis. And then in this case, stock or model box point is irrelevant because they're the same. And we're going to pick the model box point down in the bottom right left corner. This keeps our origin on the jaw. Okay, and then we go to post-process tab, and we're going to put in our number. So this is part number 7312, operation 3. So our program number is 73123. Program comment op 3, and we're still going to use work coordinate system 1. Could change that if you wanted and use say 2, and you would output 56. But what's important is you set up the way your program is. I'm going to hit OK. We're going to change the name to op3. Copy some routines from a previous operation. We're going to go to our tool 15 deep drill. We're going to right click on that, and we're going to hit copy. Then we're going to right click on operation 3, and we should be able to paste the drill that we used in that operation, and we're going to right click on operation to regenerate that, and we should be able to just clear the geometry we had selected before, and we're going to pick the countersink for this particular part. Make sure you're only getting the countersink, and then the rest of the options we should be able to leave all at default. Hit OK. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is go in with the drill that's going to drill through the part before our reamer goes through. So we're going to do a drilling cycle, and we're going to select from our Sierra library the D drill, tool number 9. And we're going to go to geometry, and we're going to select both the countersink and the through hole. Now there is not a chamfer model on the opposite side. As you can see, it goes through most of the way through, but we want to go to our heights tab, and we're going to use model top for our retract height, and we're going to keep these others at default, except for we're going to pick, we want the drill bit to go all the way through. And then we want to make sure that we've got a little bit of extra clearance, so we're going to go a breakthrough distance of 50 thousandths just to make sure that it breaks through and doesn't have much of a burr down here below. We're going to go to the linking tab and we're going to do a deep drilling cycle, full retract. We'll keep the default settings and hit OK. All right. Now let's go back and look at our last routine, okay, which is going to be doing the reamer. Now you should have built this reamer as a separate assignment. There should be a video that precedes this that has you build up the reamer. I already have it built in my library, so we're going to do a drilling cycle. We're going to select what should be tool 19, your 251 reamer. Keep all the default settings. Under geometry, we're going to pick both the hole and the countersink. On our heights tab, we're going to go from model top. We're going to go all the way through. There isn't a tip on it to break through, but we do want to go deeper. We're going to do an offset of -0.05, and that'll make sure it goes another 50th thou through. The reamers have a chamfer on the very tip, so you do want to go a little bit farther through. If you're having problems with the hole coming on sides, you can also go deeper, and it'll use more of the flute length, and they're less likely to be worn on the back edge of it. Our cycle's reaming, and we're going to hit OK. Okay, we've now completed that operation, and we can go on to the next step.